Cheers. Good late evening. Wanted to make sure the mic still worked on this thing. I don't even know if we're on the right mic, but I jumped on here for a few seconds going through the checklist. Can never stress enough how important it is to have a checklist. This is the one I went with. I don't know if this has a brand on it or not. Let me check. Find yourself a nice durable one that you can have for many, many years. This one's called ARC. See that? ARCs, who makes this one. It's still not the best for holding up. Some of the stuff has fallen out over the years here, but I still got room in there. And it's got what's it got? I think it's got a spot in the back. Maybe not. I thought I had a spot, but I just kind of throw everything that falls out in here. I need to come up with something better. Probably something with clear. It's got a spot for your pen. But anyway, I was just jumping on here. I was just sitting in front of the computer, and I thought, just jump on here for a second. Say hello to everybody. Hope everybody's having a good day. Cap needs some help tomorrow. So doing a 16 by, what are we doing tomorrow? Oh, I think it's a 16 by 12. 16 by 12. I was really surprised to hear it was a Menards door. So it's going to be interesting to see how the shaft and the spring setup on that's going to be. I'm assuming it's going to be standard stuff. I don't know if he's actually fully detailed it, got pictures, all that good stuff. But it'll be interesting. So hopefully I can take some footage of it tomorrow, helping him out. I think he's got one of the guys there they got a little bit of limp or something going on. That's from what I understand. When you work hard, man, some good, just cold water, some ice in it, just hits the spot. So if you guys are jumping in, like I said, we're not beholden to anything. I'll give it to, there's no time on here. Wonderful. Let me see here. Yeah, we might give it to about, 10, 15 or so, maybe, depending on if somebody comes up with any questions or whatnot in the old garage door business. If you guys jump in, like I said, hit the like. We're not going for high numbers tonight. We're going for, like I said, what is it, Wednesday? It's Wednesday. I don't do lives on Wednesday typically. I kind of shoot for like the Tuesday. You guys can always give me some input what you like or don't like. I normally shoot for like the Tuesdays and Thursdays and sometimes Saturday. That's kind of my normal go-to. But like I said, I was sitting here looking at the list. I got to make a few notes actually for tomorrow. I don't think I got to bring too much, but I like using this an app on my phone because you know how it is, like you don't lose your phone. And this one is called, I believe this one's just called Checklist. I like it because it's like a yellow. I can't really see it, but it's like a yellow. It's not going to show up as no, but it's like a yellow notepad. They can put your notes in. It's just real easy. I like simple. They've never, what's nice is they never blocked me, or said, they'll give you a little ad here and there, but they won't. So far, I've never had it where, it says, oh, surprise, you got to subscribe now and pay us. It's only $1.99. So that's been kind of nice. And hey, look, we got the 2 likes out of possibly 2 viewers. It's amazing. Thank you. Thank you. Sincerely. And like I said, by the way, if you guys got anything, garage doors or what you're doing or what state you're in, what state, country, you in Alabama, you in Michigan, New York, Texas, California, throw it in there. Like I said, let me know what the weather's like or anything, what you think the business, the economy's like. It's always good to keep, I watch a couple people on there and I don't know. I don't think the economy is as strong as what some of these people are predicting here. What should we call this job? We'll call it the Menards door. And I got a sweat rag on there. Yeah, that probably should say. Make sure I grab that for the morning time. We don't need to come along. That was for another job. We'll delete that one. Oh, Rusty, you're like saving grace here. Thought I was just talking to the wind. Oh, we got Kevin's in the house. Man, I tell you what, I don't think Rich is here. Rich B. He sent me. I don't think it'll show up because of how this camera on this one works. But he sent me of a guy getting locked up yesterday. I made fun of his hot dog with mustard on it. I'm still thinking about that. It's still making me laugh. But anyways, he sent me a picture, and the dude was locked up. It was like a concession stand. The guy had his hands, and the police was arresting him. And he says, "This is what happens." I forgot how he worded it, but he says, "This is what happens when you put ketchup on a hot dog instead of mustard," or something like that. It was just hilarious. I'm still grinning ear to ear about that. That made my night. Oh, the fun. So Rusty, what do you got? He says, "Hi Dave." He says, "I did two 81 650 LiftMaster today, and one was quiet. The other had a buzzing sound. Interesting. Wow, this is interesting. It seems like the LiftMaster definitely been having some quirks." And like I said, you know, I'm not the fanboy of any of them, honestly. It's just I'm just always trying to find the cleanest shirt in the dirty laundry basket. That's for sure. I was literally thinking I should have looked up that model because I was kind of thinking about you, Rusty. I was thinking about that opener, and I thought I should do a video or I should talk more about that middle of the road opener, that genie, that thing. Like I said, it was embarrassing. You ever just have something you install and you're like, can we just start over? Like, let me just take this out and like back out, like Homer Simpson into the willy weeds or into the bushes, right? When he sinks back in there. That's just how you feel. You're like, oh, this is a pile of poop. And you just want to like vanish. That's how I felt when we started running these things. There's and I'm just like, oh my gosh, this thing is just a big rolling pile of poo poo. And then when the circuit boards, it was like, the guy was just like, like they were trying to fix it. And because they're like big maintenance guys there, and they're like, they're trying to fix it. They don't know how to fix it. They're like, we need this certain fuse. You don't have this certain fuse in stock. And it's like, dude, how many times do I ever have a fuse go bad in an opener, commercial opener? Like that's not very common, and trying to find it, it was a nightmare. It was a nightmare. It was just like, so it's always the high end. Go to the high end. Just don't even mess. But the LiftMaster, it's a bummer, man. I just seen a used one. I think it's the 81. Is it 8165? The numbers have gotten so bonkers over the years. So I mean, you got, what do they do? Add a zero to it because like you got the 8160 65 0. So they add a zero, but 8165 was kind of I believe was our cheaper one. There was a used one for sale today on Marketplace. And I was like, man, I almost just want to buy that for just reminisce, just like old times, just they had the purple square learn button on it. And I thought, man, those things, I had the mechanical limits on the side. And I just thought, gosh, I kind of miss those, and it's still like, it's still kind of weird because with some of my rentals and some of the, like my house and stuff, like I sit there and I think about it sometimes. And I think about like how simplistic I am with garage doors. Like I've had houses with just openers with no photo eyes. And I think it's really weird how it doesn't seem to bother me. Like it doesn't bother me. Like I'm like, all I care about is that door going up and down. Now I know that's not everybody. Some people want all the fancy stuff. But I think I almost prefer it to not have the photo eyes sometimes. You know what I mean? Just not as problematic. So Kevin, you got slow, huh? Kevin, I don't remember where you're at. What state or city you're in? 81 650 one light / chain drive. So it's basically 8165. It sounds like kind of like what I was looking up. I don't think I saved it on the phone. The numbers really get me. Like I said, I think they've added zeros to them and stuff like that. So I don't remember the numbers. I'm pretty old school. Once I was programmed back in the day, that was my pricing. I used to know. That's like people all the time now ask me, And they're like, what's the price on this? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. I just had somebody even yet today ask me again. And I was like, honestly, like, go to Menards website and look it up, and that's going to get you pretty darn close. Maybe add 100, $200 to it. And that's kind of what you're looking at, because the stuff is like always changing. I remember one time it got me. Goshen, Indiana. You got any boarded up houses in your area? That's kind of like one of those things I always ask. I'm always looking for the place that doesn't have boarded up houses, because we got some around here. We got quite a few actually towards the heights, in Muskegon there. So Rusty's guy says today I went to install a set of window inserts. Ooh, he says they already paid. Just go snap them in. He says, got there, grabbed the wrong inserts. Oh, man. He says, 45 minutes back to shop. Oh, man. I'm so glad you shared that, Rusty. I remember window inserts, man. They get me all the time. All the time. It was never ending, man. It was like, it always really irritated me because I know your situation obviously might be different, but I remember we would do new installs, new door, and it'd have the windows. And then we had to always bring the inserts. And God darn it, man, I tell you how many times myself would forget them, a worker would forget them, or I've had it too, like you said, where it's I've grabbed the wrong set. That's happened because a couple of them are sitting next together on a table or something. Um, so it's always a weird, like, you got to almost have like a brochure with you on the clipboard so you can make sure it's the same one. And then if it's like the sunburst, you got to think about it a little bit, putting them in. You got to be careful you don't snap them. Done that before, especially if it's cold weather. Um, so they are a pain, man. It's funny you brought that up because my mom actually just asked me. She's got a door. That garage was built basically when I was a little kid, the garage, and still the original garage doors. I cannot believe it, with extension springs, and the extension springs to this day. So they're right around about that. Those two doors, or two 9x7s, are 40, right around 40 years old, and they still got running on the original extension springs. Cannot believe it. And trust me, my parents are not slouches like on using the garage door. It's not like they just use it once. It's probably gets used, sometimes 2, 3, 5 times on some days. And every time I go in there, I'm just like, I cannot believe these extension springs have not blown. And I remember for some reason when I was younger, I guess I just kind of common sense, I put the cable through them because I don't know how it was. I didn't do garage doors back then, but I just knew they were dangerous. I don't know if I picked that up on my own because I don't think we even really had Google or anything. It was just maybe I seen them extended and I just saw it, I think it's probably because my dad one time had one break and hit a car, and I just thought, man, if that breaks and my friend's over or myself, all I kept thinking about was in the grill. Could you imagine like an extension spring just pow hitting you in the face? So I put a cable in it. I bought the little kit or something from the store, put those in there, at least to help slow it down a little bit, control it. Don't know if it's going to completely stop it because I've seen a lot of them blow out the back piece of angle. At least there, it's actually a solid piece of angle, not the perforated angle. But I've seen them do some damage, that's for sure, when they blow. So that's funny. But anyways, the inserts, I forgot. She wanted to take them out and clean the window. And I was like, don't do it, because the door has been painted too. And I said, don't do it. I said, they've been too long in the sun. I said, they're too brittle. I said, I would just take a scrubby brush and some soapy water. And I said, I would just hose it down in there, so you got nice clean windows. And she said she unfortunately found a couple BB holes in it. That she says, I don't remember how those got there. I thought it made a cool sound. So I was shooting at the building. Didn't know I was putting holes in things. I thought I was just making like a rock hitting the siding. Yeah, so I peppered the garage a little bit. I was a naughty boy. Says 45 minutes north, northwest of Tony. Okay, between South Bend and Fort Wayne. Still, you got any boarded up houses? Tony might have boarded up houses too. I don't know. I'm always just trying to get a feel, you know. And like I said, I'm not trying to be mean by that. I'm just saying like I just like to know. You know what I mean? It's kind of like when I was up to the campsite the one time and somebody's like, I'm like, where you guys from? They're like, oh, we're from Detroit. I'm like, oh, like Detroit. They're like, we're in the good part, like whatever it was, something north. And I'm just like, oh, okay. I'm joking with them. You know, I said, I get it. I said, sometimes like if you say you're from Muskegon, people are like, Muskegon. Like, are you from the Heights? No, I'm in Norton Shores or something, something high end, I'm in North Muskegon. Mhm. But that's interesting, Rusty, about that garage door opener. That is interesting. I'm glad you shared it. I'm glad you're not holding back and just being like, "That never have a problem. Nothing's ever wrong. Everything's perfect." Like, yeah, okay. uh, so I just charged a customer 328 for a set of safety cables because they were selling the house and it failed the house inspection. What is this? No, cancel. Let's take a look. Huh. So it failed the home inspection. Remember, I always go for 405. But I lowered it because it was close. Nice, nice. That's pretty cool. They caught it on the home inspection, though. That's pretty nice. I like that. That's good. That's good. Safety first. Kevin's got he says lucked out on barrier gate today. Says customer had two quotes for new opener. Says jumped on me for one new card reader. Property manager out of state signed off on opener, but really wanted the reader. Nice. I didn't know, Kevin, that you did gate stuff. I didn't realize that. I thought you only did garage doors. So that's cool. That's cool. Kevin's got lucked out. We had another customer that needed one that wasn't ordered yet, so they got it. Nice. What's up, Tyson? Ooh, what's this? What's Tyson got here? It says, I'm trying to see. No, Tyson, you can program them before. Okay, so Tyson says, do you have to download the app before you program the remotes, wall controller, and keyless entry pad via the learn button on my queue openers? Nope, thank goodness so far. It's pretty much you can still do everything right there at the unit, which is nice at the head unit. When you install it, it says no boarded up houses. Always a shortage of houses here. Nice. That's good. I feel like we need more affordable houses right now in the US. Not so many of the 4, 5, 6, 1.2 million. We need more. Boy, it'd be nice if they could be in the 150, 250,000, maybe. Be like the sweet spot for like new homes, pretty much. I seen one today actually. Where was it? It was in the Heights for $52,000. One bedroom, one bath. It was a skinny home, but I thought, man, $52,000. I thought, and it was all there. I mean, it was, it wasn't, it could use some drywall and some stuff, but I mean, you could live in it. No, Tyson, you can program them before, which is nice. So, are you guys? I should ask, like Rusty and maybe Kevin knows too. Are they trying to get away since I did that Menards one and it didn't come with a keypad? Are you noticing that maybe it's just the box stores or maybe it's across the board? Does it seem like I just thought about it one night when I was laying in bed. Are the openers like LiftMaster, are they trying to get away from the keypads? Are they almost kind of acting like people don't want the keypads anymore? They can just do it from their phone. You know what I mean? That's what, when I seen that, I was like, well, what the heck? I was like, two remotes, photo eyes, like, where the heck's the keypad? And that was their best seller for the Menards anyways. But I just thought, hmm, how your mind just, I was thinking, I wonder if they're going to start trying to push, you know, no keypads and more like it comes with my queue. And then it's kind of like, my guess would be, uh, you're gonna have to pay a subscription. You're gonna have to pay for something. If it's only $1.99. Time is at 10. Program them. Okay, so Kevin says most of our customers still prefer keypad. Yeah, I think I'm probably in the same boat. I Like I said, I still can't get onto the whole MyQ. I really should you know, hook up with somebody and kind of go through a rundown, like if they were doing like 2 or 3 openers a day and just one even, and they were showing me like exactly how they're doing it. But I still don't think I would try to push it. The security, I have no interest in going in people's, houses, or the Wi-Fi is not working, or it's not hooking up, or the glitches. I mean, I'm like, it's hard enough to get these openers sometimes to perform their task, which is open and close efficiently. That the last thing I need to do is, tangle in with, oh wow, I can get 1 or 2 or 3 jobs done a day of openers, but I can only get maybe 2 because things are just stalling out so hardcore. Um, with some of that, and I just have a hard time not believing that there's a underlying agenda for that stuff. Um, like they're going to start making you do a subscription. Or I remember one time one of my installers came in. What the heck was it? What is that little black box? It's the repeater or something like that. It's not a repeater, but it's for the Wi-Fi and something. He like threw it on my desk and he's like, "There you go." He's like, "You want that?" I was like, "I don't know. I don't know what this really." He's like, "It comes for the MyQ or something." And he's like, "They want like $35 or something." I said, "A month for this." And I was just like, "Pfft." I was like, "Forget that." I said, "Ding, ding, ding." Rusty's guy says, "I tell customers it's 60 and not free, and they totally don't need it." Yeah, it kind of reminds me of like the service call, or emergency service calls is how I used to call them. I found when we would tell the customers, something that would be maybe $100 or something, $120, $150. And now you tell them, say, if you want us to come out tonight, it's going to be a $300 some, service call. And they're like, "Oh, you know what? It can wait till tomorrow," and it's like, okay, that's just want to make sure we're clear on that. Mhm. Maybe some of you guys have tried it, maybe you haven't. I always thought about doing like a 2-hour minimum. If the guys had to come in, like you're always going to get a 2-hour minimum, and then you're going to get a premium. It's hard when you kind of got the employees because it's like they normally don't want to do it. You know what I mean? I mean, you got to make it like such a big buku bucks that it's like what? I can come in for 2 or 3 hours and you're going to pay me, $600, $800. And you're like, yeah, so it's really hard to juggle that. That's why we kind of got rid of the 24-hour service, at least for us. It just seemed like we were dolly dinking around. It was like, for the 1 or 2 or 3 we get a month, it just wasn't worth the headache or the phone call. Or, by the time you miss somebody for 5 or 10 minutes, you call them back and they'd be like, "I already figured it out." And you're just like, they hang up on you. You're like, all right, well, Kevin's guy says, "I've tried explaining the Amazon key feature on my queue. Most are like, I got this silly little heart thing in the way. I can't see. Why can't I see? I want the heart thing to go away. I'm assuming never, no one opening my door but me." Yeah, I mean, I thought that was going to kind of take off a little more when I seen that happening. Like I thought, oh, this might be interesting how they're going to integrate this. But I would agree. It's kind of, I've had more people over the years that'll be like, um, isn't it always kind of funny with customers? Like, like they're like, "Well, how do you do it?" Like, "I'll enter in the keypad," and they're like almost like covering it. And you're sitting there kind of like going, customer. I mean, I'm up here by the learn button. I already got 2 remotes programmed for your door in the back and in the van on my visor, and you're worried about your keypad that I'm gonna have the code to it. I'd say 75% never cared. And what I always did is kind of a courtesy is because one time I remember I wrote it on a box that we were taking, and I thought what I should do is I'll write it on their manual. So that's what I would do. I normally would write it on the manual of the opener if I had it, because I can't remember the numbers. A 4-digit number, especially when it's theirs for like more than 3 seconds. So I'd write it down on there, and that way at the end it was like I would hand the manual over to them, and it had their number on it that they asked me to enter in. It also kind of helped for confusion. Like, well, this is what you told me, right? This is, always obviously always made sure before I left, I explained the photo eyes. I'd always make sure I go through the keypad, make sure, sometimes even the door, if it was, depending on the customer, I'd make sure like the door was already down. I'd make them walk outside if they had it. I'd be like, let's go through and make sure that keypad's working. Cause I'm just, yeah, I'm not real sure. Let's just make sure that's working, and have them enter it, and they're like, oh, it works great, and go through any of the features. Um, a lot of it's very psychological. It's a lot of mind, uh, was it mind over matter type stuff, just kind of explaining that way. I always thought, if the hubby comes home and, because I'd be one of them, I'd be hitting the 4 digits and forgetting to hit the enter button or the up and down the arrows. And I'd be like, this thing is not working. You need to call that guy back. How much did you pay him? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Wife come out. So slow down. Slow down. You forgot to hit the buttons. It worked just fine. Dumb, dumb. Okay. You know, says Kevin's guy says, Young Bucks do the 24 hour, but I think a rate is double plus 75. Tech gets the 75 plus overtime. Nice. Nice. That's always a good way. I always thought, because when I worked at the municipality, we always got a 2 hour, like we had to go in there and flip a breaker, or we had to do like a water main break or something. We always got our 2 hour minimum. They paid you over or whatever, double or, um, but like I said, it's kind of hard to, I found it seems like, at least around here, it's hard to get guys to move if it's not a, like a crisp $100 bill, or a couple, at least 2 to 3 of them, for the inconvenience. Cause it typically is always, well, I'm at the campground, or, cause it takes a lot. I mean, by the time you think of it, cause we're, like I said, once you get out of Muskegon, it's pretty rural. So, I mean, if they're up in the, it could take them an hour, 2 hours just to get in the truck, to get the truck fired up, to get everything ready to go by the time they get to the customer. Uh, is it Ramos? He says, what's your opinion on the LiftMaster video keypad? I feel like I've just glimpsed this, and I think like Kevin or Rusty might have a better. Um, I feel like I've been seeing these. I haven't touched one. I haven't done anything with them, so I'm kind of like, but if anybody's got anything on it, please share, because I don't know, man. Technology, like I said, sometimes the stuff I feel like is always made in California. Not blaming you California people, because you got some nice weather and spots around there. But it's like, when it comes up to this northerly Michigan, the UP, Mackinac Bridge, the Great Lakes, it gets hardcore up here, man. And it's like this stuff just goes, "Meep, I don't work anymore, too cold, and it's like it's like, I need you, whatever it is, it can be openers, it can be keypads. Uh, and I tell you, it's hardcore on stuff. So anytime it's new, it's like I'm still like that, like, let's give it 10 years, and see if it's still around. So had a call before. The woman said her kids put her in a nursing home. Excuse me. So they could steal all her things. She asked if I could change the keypad number. I did. Her son called hours later asking, oh, for the new code. Dang, man, that's a hard situation, man. That's crazy. That is crazy. That's a weird one to be in. That's that whole family affair type stuff going, that's tough. That's tough. Kevin says, we aren't dealing with the video keypads. Seem like they were going to price, what's it says? Price to move. I got the heart in the way again. I can't see what that last part. I'm assuming it's price to move. Is it Eggers? I wonder, have you used one, LiftMaster, of the video keypad? Ramos? I'm just curious if you used one at all, or if you're just curious on them because it'd be interesting. What's the sales pitch on the keypad? Like I said, I've seen a couple. Oh, looks like I think Sean's blowing my phone up. I'm surprised he's not in the chat. We'll say hi to the Sean from UK. Hope Sean's doing good. I think it's pretty late for him. He should be sleeping. It's probably like 3:00 in the morning right now. Let's see if I can look up this keypad. Google. LiftMaster. It's called the video keypad. Oh yeah, I got it right here. Oh yes. So I feel like they're trying to get up with like Ring, right? The Ring camera. Those Ring cameras are nuts to me. Like if anybody's got one, like does that thing record like all the time? Because I feel like I get, how you see like the videos and stuff on like YouTube or anything, and it's like they'll show like a tire coming down the road. And it's like, how did it pick that thing up? I mean, it's better than like my deer trail cams. You know what I mean? Like I'm like, it's like are they always recording? Oh, okay. So Kevin Head on here says we aren't dealing with a video keypad. Seemed like they were going to pricey to move. I wonder if I had a price on this. See what these things cost. Just curious. Ooh, $57 on Amazon. I don't know, 99 here at Lowe's, $100. 69 somewhere else. All securities 59, but what the heck is this? LiftMaster Smart Video Intercom? Holy cow. This one's $594. What in the flip-flops is that? I didn't even know something like that existed. Or is this what you guys are talking about? Holy crap. Crazy. What's up, Freeze? Mr. Eric? I got still sending the light bulb. It did it today, but I found out the problem is it won't do it after I turn it on. It won't flicker. It only does it when I walk in randomly. So I got to catch it on a random. But it's this weird, like, it's almost like you lose power for a second. I checked the bulb even today, make sure it was tight. Those LED lights, man, you can't trust them. Just can't trust them. Dang, the hearts are going crazy. Who loves me? Nothing but love. Our cost, markup, labor. It says our costs, markup, and labor seem like they're going to boot price of an opener. Seems to be popular in urban areas. Huh. I kind of wonder what the pro, what's the what's the benefit from that to maybe like the Ring camera? Is it more? Because you kind of think about it, like if what I'm guessing here, if it's pointing, if it's in the garage door jamb, it can't see a lot. I mean, it could see another portion of your house, depending. But you know how your Ring camera's on the face in a sense by your front door. Um, so I wonder if people would be trying to like point them more towards like the road when they mount them. And I could see that being a little bit of a gray with a customer. Like for here in Michigan, I'd be like, we ain't doing that because the snow, the sun would just eat them alive. Eric says, I think those Ring cameras are motion activated. I think so too, but I wonder if they just automatically kind of like, you know, how do you say it? They're kind of always watching in a sense. Like, I got like boy, what's those cameras? I got a couple cameras and they'll record like up for like 2 or 3 days and then they'll boot that out. But they're, you think about like a security camera. And what's the difference with a Ring camera? It's just always there. You can boot into it. You can see, it can tell you about motion. So it's probably kind of the same. I don't know. I don't know. I thought they are too. I think they are motion to a certain degree. Um, so maybe that's what it's working like, just like a security camera, like the ones I have. Um, uh, it might be an old fluorescent. I don't know. I don't think it is an old fluorescent for that light bulb. I remember it was funny because like we used to have this giant light bulb up at deer camp, huge bulb, and it's weird. The socket was for it, whatever. Well, then we found out there was a smaller one when you screwed this housing off. It was like a adapter. And anyways, my dad brought up a little curly cube ones, the first style, but it's like inside of it. I screwed that thing in a cold fall night, and it was just like beep. I mean, it was such a dim light. It was like, that's pathetic, you know. like, Give me a real light bulb. I need one that puts off some heat. If I have to put it in the well pit to keep my pump from freezing, so that thing didn't last too long. Finally got a regular light bulb. Do, 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 do. Rusty's guy says the video keypad is like the built in camera that is on the belt drive, LiftMaster. They will charge a subscription. Yeah, that seems like everything's trying to go to subscription after a few months if you want certain features. Yeah, unfortunately, it seems like that's the world that we're living in. You know what I mean? I feel like all these companies, car manufacturers, fridge manufacturers, everything under the sun, they're trying to get subscriptions. Like it's like they try to bleed you with the price. Well, they try to give you kind of like a okay price, still expensive, but you're getting an inferior. It's like that. What is it? Shrinkflation. You know what I mean? When you're buying like the appliances and that, like from Lowe's and the box stores, right? They're not the quality ones. They might not last. It's like when we looked at fridges a year ago or something. It was like there's only one, USA made fridge, and it was just a standard door, no features really that much. And it was like, hey, it's like, where do you go for a good fridge? Find something that's going to last and hopefully outlast you. It's like those yellow ones like your grandma used to have. Man, those things just kept on running and running and running. Do, 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 do. Oh, and by the way, I should put it on there because now my brain's been constantly thinking about it since I talked about that scientific opener. I thought, man, wouldn't it be cool? I was talking to the wife about it, and I said, wouldn't it be cool? I said, have like like a classic garage door, something that, like I said, you could see them. I kept thinking, I've never really checked, but I was like, it'd be cool just to see what's out there if somebody has a collection. Because now I've been really thinking about that one. Whoever was talking about it, that they went and installed the one back from the 70s yesterday on the live. And I thought, how cool that would be. Like, it almost makes me want to go do some yard sales just to see if I, find an old boy that passed away or something. And wife was like, well, we ended up building a single stall or something. So I don't know what to do with this thing, and just go through the manual and open it up and see how the packaging was on something that's old school. Just Just so cool. Must have been video intercom that boss looked at because he said they were 500. Well, you could be right because there's looks like there's two different ones here on the old interweb. And like I said, this one it is intercom. It says video intercom. This one's on Amazon. I don't know if it'll show up. Maybe. Maybe. Anyways, this is 500 bucks. This black box, which is goofy looking to me. LiftMaster Smart Video Intercom, 1 through 9 unit apartments, remote, unlock door, Wi-Fi, Ethernet, weatherproof, impact proof, night vision. Ooh, it's got night vision. Camera with recording, admin, dashboard, doorbell, door buzzard. I mean, it's got a lot, right? So there's that one. That's the 600 bucks basically. And then you can go to this guy, which is just the old standard MyQ Smart Garage Door keypad, which looks probably more like I'm assuming like a ring. Oh, whatever this, I don't know what that is. Some ad, it's just a regular keypad. The light does not like this, but it's just a round. They got their phone next to it. I'm just curious if I turn this light on. Come on, light. If that helps not freak out so much. Nope. Helps if I go in the right area though. There she goes. I think UK's busting me up here. He might have just got his number. Oh, somebody else. Dun, 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 dun. What does this says? Eric's guy said, I think the video, the Copad is stupid. He says, what's going on here? What's going on here, friends? It's all blurry. It's like, it's weird. Technology is weird. Keypad is stupid. He says you could just use a traditional security camera system and Copad. I'm assuming it's supposed to be keypad. But I would agree. But they want to get in your pockets. And so they need something for themselves to sell, and this is a great upgrade for you. Probably one day maybe they'll give kickbacks to the garage door company that, for subscriptions. Peter's got Garage Door History Museum. If there's one out there, send it my way. Or if you know one, it'd be cool. It'd be cool. Like I said, I mean, why not, right? They got chainsaws, they got old cars, they got, there's probably out there for fire trucks. I mean, semi trucks. I mean, come on, we need one for some garage doors. It'd be cool even if somebody had one for like fridges well, they do have fridges. I've seen fridges, the fridge ones. Eric says there's the garage door geek. He's a cool dude. Been wondering about that with commercial operators. This is MyQ is referred to as MyQ facility. In directions that on free for the 90 days, you're going to need subscription. If they just use using phone remotes. Yeah, it's getting a little bit, I know when we did one last year, somebody else installed some LiftMaster. We were installing Genie. And I remember one of the guys comes up and he's like, it was kind of weird. I wasn't expecting it, and he's like, is that got MyQ in it? And I'm like, whoa, like, at a commercial building, I'm like, what's this guy? And he says, well, he was saying the maintenance guys or the facility guys, some of the supervisors, or something like they must monitor it. I think it's maybe for heat or for theft or for some reason, but they monitor the doors. And I think they tell the guys like, hey, you guys can't be leaving the doors or you got to shut them. So it was kind of interesting, and I was like, no, I don't know if we kind of sugarcoated it. And it was like, it's just got the Aladdin. You can make them, kind of sync up, or you can kind of make it work somewhat together, but probably not. It's probably inconvenient. Just ripped open it up, put up a left master. But we didn't know that. It was the builder approved everything. We were there just to make sure we installed something that was, basically reliable. And that's what we went with. And what they did afterwards, I'm not really sure. Time is up. Do do do. Got work tomorrow. Got work tomorrow. Like I said, give it another 5-10 minutes. You guys got anything? Otherwise, like I said, I'll probably shoot off and get off to Lollyland. Got to get up early. Got to go chase that. I was surprised. I was real surprised that Cap's doing the Menards door. We'll see how it is. See how the Clopay special is. Eric Scott. He says maybe LiftMaster is probably going to get into home security. Oh, Eric, I like the way you're thinking. I agree. Would probably be probably be the new ADT. Why it's not ringing in my head right now, but I feel like there was somebody out there that was kind of similar to that, and then it turned into that. Like it was like, we can be your home. Was it Google or something? Or am I thinking what's that one? All the girls will say it, and guys, whatever. Hey, what do you talk to your phone? I can't think of it. What's this called? Hey Siri. That's what it is. Hey Siri. Um, where that stuff's gotten to be that. Like I said, I think that's just going to be the future, honestly, with a lot of things, cars, uh, the subscription. I mean, I think I heard what Ford was doing, like some kind of patent, or they were trying to apply for a patent, I think, for letting the police officers know that you're speeding. It's supposed to send out a signal. And I thought, well, sure, why not? And then some of these, trying to put the devices on there to kill the vehicles, so, which, the way things are kind of going, I'm 50-50 on it, because sometimes you watch some of these chases and I tell you what, man, I sure would hate for it to be my wife and kids that get smashed with some wacko, but I also, I don't like that kind of stuff, because what if you're out in the remote area and you need to spin the tires, or you're an emergency or something, and I don't know, the thing malfunctions. Um, Probably what they really need to do is the common sense way, is that need more punishment. You do that, an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. Jets has got, he says, did a 16x8 Clopay full view yesterday. My first duplex springs. Man, are you feeling it? How old are you, Jets? Oh man, that's like, next day. Next day is we're going out for lunch. We're going to Applebee's or uh, Red Robin or something, man. That's those are hefties. Those are hefties. Were you able to use any Eric Scott, there he goes, Alexa. Were you able to use any, like a spring turner or a sure winder or brute winder for winding the springs at all? Or was it just the pipes? The pipes, the arms. Kevin's guy says, my facility monitors everything. He says, believe it, guys can actually uh, remove and remotes from their computer, access to all codes, service schedules. Wow. Wow. Jess says 1,400 pounds. Definitely feeling it. Oh my gosh. Oh, sweet. Jess, did you got to use the brute winder? That's nice, man. That's nice. Maybe I should see if Cap will bring the Surewinder, or not Surewinder. Don't tell Tony I said that. If he's got can bring the spring turners, maybe I can get them make them not so afraid of it if they haven't used it yet. Because, like I said, once you just you got the setup, it's nice. It's nice. It took me about 3 or 4 times before I felt like I was like, "Okay, I know how to use this, put my hands where I need to go," versus just, like, where you kinda have that frustration, like, "Why would I use this thing? This is stupid. I ain't using this darn thing." It worked pretty nice. Where are we at? Where are we at? 49? 49? We'll go to we'll go to about 10:45. Cut out. Give me enough time to wind down. Plus, I'm running low on water. How dare me? It says you got to put the scientific in your garage. I know. I'm trying to find a way to mount it a little bit so I can at least run it kind of full tilt. Um, but Eric, you should. You're always kind of into that stuff. If you come across anything, come across any videos or pictures, you know, um, because I'm still like, I feel like there's something out there that I'm like, dude, like I really want one of those. Like that's my next hunt. Um, and I just don't know. I just don't know which one it would be. You know what I mean? Where it's like I'm still kind of looking. I'm looking. You know, I forget which one of you sent me one. Was it? I don't know if it. I don't think was it Kevin who sent me one yesterday. And it was a really goofy looking one, and I was like, dude. I was like, that is very interesting looking. So it's like I'm always kind of looking where, like that crane opener I had. Like I said, I had one at the shop. It sat outside for a little bit. I thought this is stupid. I said I'm gonna get rid of this thing. I was like, I ain't gonna hang it. You know, that's just stupid. I chucked that thing, and I had instant regret. And then I ended up driving all the way down to Chicago to go get one. And I felt bad. The gentleman never installed it. He had cancer. He wasn't doing so good. So the money was helping him out. So I was happy at least about that. But um, driving all the way to Chicago to get one when I had one right in my backyard, basically, was not cool. So Kevin, you were the one that you sent it to me. That's interesting. I never seen one like that. That was interesting. I don't know if it gave me the spark though. Like I was like, I gotta be on the hunt for one of those. Like um I'm definitely curious. So, to come across something. It's cool when you can find them in your own town, because then it seems like kind of got a little history behind them and they're interesting. But I'm looking for that that next 1967 Pontiac GTO that just looks like eye candy where you can just look at it and you're just like, wow, that's so cool. Like it can be going down the road, that's cool, or it can be an operation, that's cool, or it can be just sitting there and that's cool, you know. And sometimes it's kind of hard because some of those ones I don't know. Some of the old screwdriver ones get me a little bit, and I think the reason they turn me off a little bit is because there's like plastic in them. Those old screwdrivers. Like I'm thinking of the one that has like the bigger shaft, and I can't even know what brand. I think it's the one Eric's always talking about. Sometimes maybe it might not be the same one, but I forget one of them. Somebody sent me one too, and it was so ridiculously loud, and that's just the nature of it. Um, but it was just cool. You know what I mean? It's cool. I love it all. I'm looking for that one where it was like the scientific was the one. And I just don't know if I can find anything that'll top my scientific and my crane. The crane I thought was as cute as a button because it literally looks like a little crane that you would have in your shop or, in your um, just a little old man would have to lift up his lawnmower, change the lawnmower blades or something. Traction drives. Eric says, I've seen some of those. That's kind of a cool way to say it. Traction drives. I don't know where they ever really got the name of the scientific, um, but I believe that one has on the side. It says it too. Yeah, I'll try to forward you any pictures. There's actually, I don't know if you do some digging, Eric. I think I did a live on it at one time. It had to probably be about maybe a year or two ago. When I first got it, I did a video on it. So you might want to do some digging on that. If I come across it, I'll try to pop it up. I don't know if I took any pictures, and then I put it in storage. Um, I just haven't pulled it out because I really just don't have a place for it. So it's kind of but I wanted to put that with the kind of with the crane. I know some people still like I still get people that comment on my videos for the crane. I think they said somebody told me the reason it's doing what it's doing is it's actually on backwards. So that was good to know. I lost one of the limits. I had them made out of brass. But man, I tell you, somebody told me that was the first genie, and that thing is super fast, like scary fast. Like I'm always like with no photo eyes and stuff on it. I'm like, it's a little dangerous, especially if you got kids and just poof, man, anytime I used that when I had it on a door at another house, it was like, it was so fast. I always felt like I was like telling the kids, like, be really careful, don't let that thing catch the back of your pants. Like you'll go flying. He says, yep. He says, Moromatic has a nylon traveler. They don't really fail. At least I've never seen one fail. No, I don't think I've seen one of those ever fail either. Um, I think they were always one of those things. I'd like to kind of see one again, honestly, in person, because I don't know how to explain it, but it reminds me of like there was an opener out there. I forget which one it was. There was commercial ones that used to use like wood blocks for the trolley. Um, but it was always kind of one of those openers you looked at that it just I was just like I always looked at it like why why it was cool in its own righteousness, you know what I mean, but it's just like one of those things that was always like I don't know. And then seeing that big whirly thing, the shaft versus I'm so used to like the genies with a small, trolley. They just always threw me, you know what I mean? But I'd definitely give them another look, you know what I mean? Like I'd like to see one again, kind of in person and just but yeah, I can't say I've ever seen them fail. I can't remember why we tear most of them out. It seemed like when we did, it was like either I feel like it was like a short, like you hit the button, it would travel a little bit, it'd stop, you have to hit it again or hold the button. It was like it just had a glitchy circuit board or something going on. Rusty Scott Dave, when you said scientific opener, are you referring to the one that's blue, a blue color, has a big cylinder in the center, weighs about 200 pounds? Yeah, that guy. Even that little one I got, the rail on it is, it looks like a skyscraper or like a crane type. I don't know how to explain it. It's just nuts. You know what I mean? It's got a weird like lever for like the disconnect on it and on the side that runs down it. It's just one of those things I can sit there and look at it. And I'm just like, wow. You know what I mean? I don't know. I think it kind of reminds me. I feel like there was that time when America was great. You know what I mean? Where it was like you had like my wife's grandpa, and you had those old boys, right? That were sitting there at that drawing board, right, with that cigarette in their mouth, right, and they're sitting there going, "That freaking Bobby down the road thinks he's going to build a wash machine or a garage door opener that's going to outlast mine. The hell with him. Watch this." You know what I mean? Like, hold my beer, and his is going to last 50 years. We're going to make ours last 60. And so we're going to up the belt on it. We're going to up the bearings on it. We're going to make a name for ourselves. And we just don't live in that now. Now it's like, how cheap can we build it? Can we make it break? After you only get 5 year, 5 years and a month, and that's the warranty too, right? It seems like a month after for your car and everything always is breaking. No, not that old stuff. You know what I mean? It was like meant to be rebuilt. It was meant to be used. It was meant to outlast you. But yes, it is blue. Kevin says he's an old timer told it was like a like a berry. That's a good one. He says if you ever seen one of them, yeah, it's a blueberry, man. I think this one's cool. I think this one I remember. I believe it says. I think it said scientific on it. I think I heard rumors that it was made in Detroit, Michigan, and I thought, wow, this is a Michigan-made opener. And I believe this one's stamped on the side too that says, or it's painted. It says it's made in Detroit, Michigan, and I thought, wow, that is really cool. But I couldn't believe it. With one of my guys asked me, he must have knew I was he was well he knew I was looking for one, you know, and I thought I was going to get a big old commercial one, and he was like, hey, he's like, you want this one? It was in a residential. I'm like, heck yeah. He's like, it still works. It's they just wanted something newer, more modern. And I'm like, oh, that's gold, baby. That's gold. That's that 1967 Pontiac GTO I've been looking for. You know, says I think the Osco had wooden slides. I bet you're right. I bet you're right with that. That's probably why that makes sense to me because Osco was right, actually right down the road from the shop. Because we used to go to their little shop and we get gate operators, and they built the openers there, and then it got sold out. Um, but there is still some reminiscence of them. There's actually some people that used to work there that work at a place called Stevens now, Stevens Pipe and Steel over in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And there's John. He's probably one of the I'd say he's about one of the last ones I know anyways, that was part of that era, that knows the Oscos, you know, and he's still working them today. I think it's William or Will that's part of the channel. He's been dealing with them for gate operators, uh, you know, and John's a great dude. Um, he knows his stuff. And then there's Aubrey, Audrey, I believe Audrey. She's one of them too that came from him. And then there's Dan. Dan's a Dan's a great dude too. He's been around them. He's kind of a they've been around it longer than I have, but I'm not too far behind. I'm still probably considered a young buck for them, but not too far. Na, 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 na. You know what I'm thinking about, Eric? When we're sitting here talking about the wood blocks, I think the wood blocks are what hold up the chain in the middle. I don't think it was on the trolley. I think it was in the center. If that's what my brain is telling me, because now we got those nylon or the plastic, you know, for the slides for like the lift master. I feel like that's where the wood blocks were. If you remember where they're at, let me know because I can't remember if they're on the trolley or if it was just holding the chain. But it worked. It worked. You'd see like a little groove, but with some oil and stuff, that chain didn't chew in there very much. What's Rusty got here? He says, I moved one. He says, myself about 15 years ago. I didn't realize how heavy it was until I bolted it or unbolted it from the ceiling. Oh my gosh. Trust me, this residential one, it was bonkers, dude. Bonkers. Like, I'm like, it took me all I had to put it in the back of the truck. Let's just say that. I mean, it was heavy. You know, waistline wasn't too bad, but trying to get it that up, monster heavy. I'm sure people love scrapping those puppies in back in the day. You know, we're going to get 40, 60 bucks for this thing, you know, scrap so high. Do, 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 do. Eric says, are you still using those wood grain sears? I know they still are in use. I'm not using them, but they're still in use. Uh, Barry says, you got a box of parts uh, assembled. Opener had think solid through sold through Sears. Then believe Stanley bought Barry tells you about how old it was. Said the France was I can't see this one part and assembled version. Gosh, wouldn't it be cool to go through one of those what do they call it? Robux, the old Sears catalogs. Isn't that crazy to think how Sears was just like the top dog? I mean, you know, I remember one time, I don't know how I got my hands on one, but that catalog was just massive. And I mean, you could build anything from that thing. It was build a house, garage door. It was, I mean, I think the only thing it was missing was maybe buying a car on that thing. You know what I mean? It was everything else under the sun. It seemed like kitchen sink to lawnmowers to you name it. Those would have the history of those books would be amazing to look at, especially for like what they got for garage doors or what they were selling back then. Because I only came into the era of that when my buddy used to work at Sears, and I think far back as I go, I think it's Craftsman. I don't think I ever seen anything when I was in the stores that said Sears, until obviously I worked on the older stuff, and you just come across that old stuff out in the field when I started doing the business. But man, just to see the price tag or what, I like that kind of stuff. I like seeing what their slogans were, what their sales pitch were, like I still feel like that genie screw drive. I should start trying to dig it up. I swear they tried to market it as like super slick, super quiet. And I feel like I watched a commercial on TV one time, and I just always remember at my dad's house, that I remember they had a two-stall garage in the bedroom. I was the bedroom above the garage, and they'd go out early in the morning to go to get groceries, on Saturday, Sunday type stuff. And I mean that screwdriver would open. I think it was the one that had the red head on it with the gear, in the back, and that thing would just be. I mean, it was like you were in the bed, like holy crap! It was like, and then it's like I knew they were leaving, right? So it was like, I'm going back to sleep. I got at least an hour or so, right? And you think I'll wake up, I'll get up, brush my teeth, so I don't look like such a lazy fart. And all of a sudden, there go. Oh, you jump out of bed, I gotta get up, man. Run downstairs, kind of hair, So, oh, I've been sitting here waiting for you guys. Yeah, just woke up, but thank goodness for that garage door opener, because it ain't no silent glide, or it isn't quiet. It's very noisy, very noisy. Mm. Dang, Kevin. He said, I used to sell whole house kits through Sears. Dang, Kevin. How old are you, Kevin? That's amazing. That's really cool. I always thought it was cool. My buddy worked there, so I could always you play the system a little bit, right? And so I'd bring in like a wrench that wasn't, he'd be like, oh, looks like a Craftsman to me. Throw it in the box or whatever, Here you go. You know. And then the ones I did have, I was doing I bought a nice set, the professional series wrenches, because I was working at a Penske. I used to work at Penske doing the oil change and tires and brakes and stuff like that. And so I bought myself a nice set. I couldn't afford, the Snap-ons or the Matco and all that. And so I was buying Craftsman, professional, whatever, the nice of the nice, whatever they had. And anytime I break something or whatever, just take it in, no questions asked, especially being your buddy. I mean, he just, here you go. It was really nice. Eric Sky says, I love Sears catalog. He says they had everything from shotguns to women's underwear. That's right. That's right. That's right. You're so right. I feel like I remember we used to get those things, and I mean, you just flip through that thing for like hours, Oh, oh, I gotta have this, Ooh, this is nice. Yeah. That was good times. I do miss that. Uh it says I didn't just say used to sell full houses kids. He says I'm getting old, but not that old. Oh, that's funny. Nice. Edgar's guys. I used to work at Penske back in the day. Good old Penske, man. I remember we had to come in on a weekend, and there was something odd about it. I can't remember what it was. We had to come in early. They sat us down, and our manager guy there was like, "Well, boys, we're shutting her down." And I was a young kid, so I didn't really care. I was like, "Well, on to the next job." And but I remember a guy that was there for he was there for quite a while. I want to say 18, 25 years or something like that. He was there for a long time. And I remember he was sitting there and he's like, I gotta call my wife. And I think he was planning on retiring out of that place. And Nope, that wasn't happening. Then it was, of course, it was that weird correlation, through the day. It's like we'd get this like he's talking to his regional manager, and it's like, oh, maybe they found somebody to buy it. Like we're not closing, We're like, yay! And then it's like 2 minutes later, calls back, no, we got to keep counting tires. They got to get the tires counted up. Blah blah blah. You know, it was a pretty cool gig for me. Kind of basically out of school, all that stuff. I learned a lot. Like I said, the retail was really weird. That's where I learned like a lot of like I think even kind of using in garage doors and that. I've always had this weird like probably that thing like my business partner used to say. He was like, kind of like Dave. He's like the work is always going to be there, and when you're in business for yourself, it feels like every day is emergency day because you're constantly trying to grow. You're trying to um, just pay the bills. And I remember uh, there it was like it was weird how like you'd watch one car come in and here come three, four more cars, and then they'd scatter out, an hour later, and you're kind of sitting around for 10, 20, minutes, like the hell are we gonna do for today? Like I guess there's like nobody else is coming, and here a swarm of cars are coming. Here come one. Oh, cool. We got one car at least to work on, maybe another two. That's not so bad. And then three more are pulling. And you're like, wow, what the heck are we gonna how are we gonna get all these done? Because they used to do I think they used to do was like a 30 minutes free or 20-minute free oil change, that you get it done in 20, 30 minutes. Otherwise it's free. Maybe Edgar could tell me. Uh, there's a place that builds boxes for Penske trucks down the road from me. Yeah, they ended up, I remember when we were getting the boot, they told us we could potentially go drive trucks or work at their facilities, other Penske facilities. These ones were these were attached to the one I worked at was attached to Kmart. Kmart back of their building. So Penske and Kmart kind of, shared the building. And they had garage doors and stuff in the back for service and that. So maybe a little different. I don't know if they called it different. It was like Penske Automotive versus Penske Trucks or something like that. I remember they offered us to potentially work there, and I was like, nah, I'm good. Like I don't want nothing to do with the semis and trucks and all that. And I don't think it was like super far away. They might have shipped us over to another spot, but when you're a young kid, you're like, you're not committed. You're just like, on to the next. I don't got, I'm pretty sure I didn't have my own house yet. So I didn't even, you know how that is. Like the house is what locks you in, or you're like scared to death now, the bills, that stuff anchors you big time. So, all right, guys, I got to cut it out. I'm having too much fun here. So I got to go though. I got to get some sleep, and I advise you guys too. And thanks for being here. Thanks for all the questions. I really appreciate it. It's fun. Like I said, it really highlights my night. I appreciate all the emails and texts and comments. It's a lot of fun. I was on leasing sales side, Penske trucks. Got it. Got it. I was a lube guy that did brakes and tires. I was that one. I wasn't the Skirb boy. The Skirb boy was when I used to work at Discount Tire. I was a Skirb boy. I was the low bottom of the barrel. I was the one that got picked on when you get there, right? Go down to the basement, get blinker fluid. And I remember a guy, I told him, I knew there was no basement in the place. I, was kind of tell him to, fly a kite. And my manager came out. And I tell you what, that dude scared the crap out of me. He got right in my face and he was like, don't you ever talk to this guy. Like, and I'm sitting there like, I am so fired. I am so fired. And he's like, just like shows me, he's like, I'm messing with you. I'm like, okay, I gotta go clean my underwear out because I just got this job and like I wasn't expecting to get fired. And the guy that got me in here is like, he's even higher up yet. And I'm like, I can't believe this is happening. Like I totally made but you know how it is when you're the Skirb boy. They mess with you. The guy that flings the tires and you just mop the floors in the bathrooms. Yep, that was me. All right, guys, have a good night. Talk to you later. Make sure you keep your fingers. I'll keep you updated on the Menards door if things seem to go okay. We'll go from there. I got to figure out how to turn this off. It's been a minute. It's around here somewhere. There's an exit button somewhere. I don't know. I'll just turn the plug off or power this puppy. I got an axe. See you guys. Have a good night.